But feedback control systems were now about to become a matter of life and death.
On December 7th, 1941, in one of the defining moments of United States history, Japanese planes bombed Pearl Harbor. The next day, the U.S. declares war on Japan and enters the Second World War.
They're coming in.
They're coming in, Scotty.
1 o'clock high.
They're coming around. Watch them.
To wage war across the vast expanse of the Pacific, what was needed was a bomber that could fly long range, at high altitude, and defend itself. The answer?
The B-29 Superfortress. The most advanced bomber of its time.
Officer. Intercom.
On.
Battery switch. Set.
Wow, look at this. This is absolutely fantastic to be on one of these. I mean, there's not... How many of these planes are left?
This is the only flying B-29 in the world.
Only flying B-29 in the world. It's pretty amazing to be able to be up in this thing.
Crazy. Kind of terrifying and exhilarating at the same time. Whoa, that's some kick. Then you can really feel there's some juice pushing you ahead now. Wow. Wow, that was smooth.
The B-29 Superfortress had a range of 5,830 miles with a top speed of 365 miles per hour, and it could carry a 20,000-pound bomb load. It also contained a piece of groundbreaking technology.
What made the B-29 so revolutionary was the mechanism behind its guns, its firing control system. Because for the first time, all the machine guns on the plane were centralized and automated.
The central fire control system is warmed up. Superhuman brain power at the flick of a switch.
What the B-29's firing control system did was take the guesswork out of point and shoot and let the gunner control more than one gun at a time.
The fire control system helped the gunner to track a moving target by making adjustments for wind speed, altitude, and ballistics, as well as physically moving the guns themselves.
This is an amazing experience. You really get a sense for how revolutionary the firing control system was.
On one particular mission, a B-29 crew took out 14 Japanese fighters, an incredible air-to-air kill ratio. The guns on this plane have been decommissioned, so to find out what it was like to actually fire them, I asked World War II veteran John Swoboda.
The B-29 was way ahead, way ahead. But this, being 7, 8, 10 feet away, entirely different. Like sitting in front of a television instead of changing channels.
Kind of like playing video games.
Almost like that, yeah. You would have to have been trained in plane recognition. So when you recognized the plane, you knew the dimension. You set that into your sight, and then you close it in on that image, and then you fired. And in 2 seconds, this thing, the computer in there would tell this gun what to hit.
So the computer managed almost all of it.
I mean, it's everything. Computer was everything in there.
Thanks to its remote-controlled gun turrets, the cabin of a B-29 could be pressurized, which allowed it to fly high enough to evade anti-aircraft fire on bombing missions, like the mission by B-29 Enola Gay that dropped the atomic bomb.
The B-29 has been called the weapon that won the war in the Pacific, but its influence was felt for many years after that. because the technology behind its groundbreaking gun control system would help lay the foundation for today's automated world.
A world dependent on dwindling reserves of key resources, especially oil.
I'm back in the Gulf of Mexico on the Perdido, the most technologically advanced production rig in the world, and where our story is about to come full circle.
The Perdido spar produces 100,000 barrels of oil a day. And to do this, it's essential that the machinery on board is able to regulate itself.
The Perdido uses a host of automated control systems that allow us to extract oil and gas from the most remote and unexplored environment on Earth, the bottom of the ocean.
"8,000 feet down is a subsea system that automatically separates oil from gas and pumps it to the surface.
One of the most unique things about Perdido is the subsea boosting and pumping that we do here. So we actually use electric submersible pumps to pump the oil to the surface.
The pumps are the most heavily instrumented pieces of equipment in the whole Perdido setup.
These pumps are pumps on steroids.
They are chock full of sensors and control systems that regulate the flow of oil.
The system itself is automatically speeding the pump up if it needs to. It's automatically slowing it down. And if it exceeds safety limits, then we're going to get alarms and we're going to get immediate shutdowns. Gotcha. You don't want a catastrophic event out here.
I don't want any event, thank you.
Yeah, very good. Neither do we.
But the Perdido's automated technology doesn't stop there. Installing, inspecting, and maintaining this subsea system is another challenge.
The solution is autonomous vehicles, unmanned subs, like this one.
Are we clear to go down, Dwight?
Roger, you got a green line.
Roger that, handling down, Joe.
It takes 2 hours to lower an unmanned sub 8,000 feet to the seafloor.
Oh. National water.
Going under?
Look at that.
The sub is loaded with high-tech equipment to carry out its underwater work, but also a sophisticated control system to manage its own position.
Once the sub reaches its target, the operator can lock it on, and it'll hold its position automatically. So it's doing that now? It's just floating itself?
Correct. We are station keeping right now.
Using sensors and an onboard computer, the sub can stay in place regardless of ocean currents.
These automated systems are the final link in our story, the final link in a chain of historic innovations that allow us to extract oil and gas from deep beneath the sea.
So how have we got here? We began with the waterproof cement that allowed Romans to build aqueducts that gave them the water to fight fires using the double-action hand pump, the use of which, in hurling Greek fire, protected Constantinople, the city whose classical scholars helped kickstart the Italian Renaissance, which saw the building of spectacular fountains that inspired experiments into the vacuum, the force behind the Newcomen steam engine that would lead to the invention of James Watt's Governor, the forerunner of the B-29's fire control system and virtually all modern automated technology.
But that isn't the end of our story, because new uses for control systems and automation are being developed all the time.
Here at General Motors Research and Development Facility, engineers are developing fully autonomous vehicles, the ENV, Electric Networked Vehicles. And I get to drive one, or it gets to drive, I'm gonna ride in it.
The idea is that the ENV will communicate with other vehicles to find the best route and then drive itself. And you're not steering or anything. This thing's just doing itself.
Yes.
That's awesome. Using sophisticated sensing technology, the ENV can detect obstacles or pedestrians and stop automatically. Oh, nicely done. Sitting inside here, you really get the sense that you're stepping into the future. It's kind of what every geek longs for.
Today's technologies are already set to become stepping stones for future breakthroughs. Breakthroughs which will redefine our world. And if the surprising links in this story are any guide, we have no idea what's coming next.